I'm back from the Caribbean, so in this video I'm not just gonna explain why we should visit this paradise, but I'm also gonna share 3 reasons why we should extend our trip a few days longer. Welcome to Barbados. So I spent time in Barbados just before the pandemic, and there's some things I want to share with you today, especially if you don't have much time and want to get a flavor of the island. But before that, I just want to clarify that this island is not just Rihanna, celebrities, cocktails and stuff like that. Actually, this island has a lot to offer. And it's really one of my favorite places in the Caribbean. If you ask me, this is one of the places where I could potentially consider living for a few years. And the answer is not just because they have great drinks, parties and endless sun. It's just because this place has elements of so many different cultures: British, American, African and Caribbean itself. There's so much to learn from this place and experience. Anyway, let's talk about fun stuff now. As always, I'll share my experience in 3 parts. The beaches of Barbados have nearly everything we could want. On the west coast we find calmer swimming waters, while on the east coast we have these massive waves. So people come from all over the world to surf in them. There were so many beach options and I personally was a bit overwhelmed trying to research them all. But luckily I was cautious of time and I decided to focus on Cala Bay. This bay is in the south of the capital Bridgetown, with a long strip of soft white sand beaches to give us that sort of feeling of a paradise. On sunny days the water is turquoise blue and it looks like one big lagoon, absolutely stunning. There are also plenty of bars and restaurants along the coast, so we jumped on a boat and the adventure started. Close to shore, less than 200 meters from the beach, there are 6 shipwrecks laying in the sand for us to explore. The wrecks lay at a depth between 3 and 17 meters depending on the tide. The biggest wreck is the Bajan Queen, over 36 meters long. Because the wrecks are laying really shallow and close to each other, it is really a nice snorkel adventure. The wrecks were sunk in different years. Sea life is using the wrecks as a solid ground for creating a coral reef. Many fish species and critters can be found on and around the wrecks. Barbados is also known for its impressive number of sea turtles, and they're pretty easy to spot on the white sand in the shallow areas. We can spot many sea turtles on this bay. We mostly saw green sea turtles and they can weigh up to 90 kilos. We counted about 7 or 8 on our snorkel adventure. The biggest turtle we saw was almost like 1 meter long. It was a nice feeling to swim along in the wild, but on the other hand we tried not to get too close just to respect the territory. Bridgetown, the capital of Barbados, is the largest city and the center of its business and culture. It's a mix of Bajan culture and the modern world, with a lot of different shops, restaurants, bars and so on. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's colorful and very beautiful. There's a lot of stuff to see, such as the Parliament Building, the National Hero Square, and these 2 are really the main sites in the city center. Across the street from the Parliament buildings we have the Chamberlain Bridge, with views over the Constitution River. And from the bridge we can see yachts docked along the waterway and the colourful buildings. An interesting fact is that there's a 1,000-year-old tree in Queen's Park. What was also interesting is that at some point we took a taxi and the driver told us, "Call me back when you're ready." And we were like, really? Why? Why even bothering? The truth is that we struggled to find a taxi and we ended up calling him back. This was such a weird thing, right? Like, it was weird. Towards the end of the trip we went to a local store and tried to get some souvenirs and stuff like that. One of the souvenirs was like a carpet saying, "What is life?" And there were 18 different definitions of life. At the beginning I thought it was a bit cheesy, but then I started to read and I thought, hey, this makes sense. This is actually true. If you asked me before Barbados what my life definition was, I don't know if I could have come up with 18 different words. I think that life is all that, but it doesn't need to be 18 different things at the same time. I feel like some of these things are happening in different stages. So what's life in Barbados? What's life in an island? Is it just amazing landscapes, stunning weather and fun activities to do? Or is it a simple life far from the stress of the big cities? Or just a place to get tax advantages? It depends on who we ask, but there can be less positive opinions, and some people might say that we are far from family and friends, that it's more expensive, that there are natural disasters and rain seasons, these islands are small and we can miss entertainment of a big city, or perhaps it's harder to find a job or universities. My point is that life is exactly all that, positive and negative. Depending on our personal situation, values and priorities, we might have completely different definitions. But the one thing that I believe is that how we react to all these different definitions of life is the key to unlock a very important door. The door of happiness. If you like this video, you might also want to check some other videos I have in the Caribbean islands. And if you are really enjoying my content, my vibe and what you see, please consider subscribing to the channel so I can keep making these videos for you. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Guys, this is just a behind the scenes thing, but today was really tough to film this. The exposure was changing so much. Like I literally have, one massive window on my left, one big window on my right, and typically I close the blinds a bit and I control it with some extra light and so on. But today was so tough because literally it was sunny and cloudy every 5 minutes. And I was not sure, how do I do it? Like, shall I start again? Shall I keep, recording in stages and then mix all together and manually change in post-processing? Like, honestly, it was one of my worst days. Like, I cannot even explain you. When you watch this video, you will probably watch, I don't know, 7 to 8 minutes. In reality, I spent close to 4 hours doing this stuff. Just wanted to share with you the behind the scenes, because sometimes this looks very, silly, very simple, and sometimes we have issues. That's all I want to say. Anyway, just wanted to share this.